Hey guys, it's me, Lamitria from Cutting Up Keto, where we slice and dice and serve up everything nice with no sugar and lots of spice. Now in this episode, I have for you guys one of my favorite keto dishes to prepare of all time, and I showed it to you guys in my very first video, the slideshow, where I showed you guys my pepperoni and arugula pizza on the cauliflower crust. Now in this video, I'm going to show for you guys how to assemble the perfect cauliflower crust that's not soggy, nice and crispy, and holds up well with that sauce and the toppings, so that it really does remind you of a traditional pizza crust. I'm also going to show you guys how to whip up your own homemade keto marinara sauce or pizza sauce, whatever you want to call it. You can use it for, putting on a spiralized zucchini, or just, like I said, for pizza, you can make little breadsticks with that cauliflower and dip it in that. So I'm going to show you guys a few different little tricks today on how to get just the perfect little keto pizza that's gluten-free and very, very keto friendly. So I really think you guys are going to love this. So stay tuned. We'll have that right now. But I'm going to show you guys just a little sneak peek. So far, a lot of you guys that are new to the channel may not know. I still get questions about it, even still. Am I pregnant? Yes, I am. And right now I am 21, almost 22 weeks along, halfway through. So far, everything is going great. I picked up a little bit of weight, but that's to be expected. So I'm just going to show you guys a little peek at the little baby bump for you guys that are not on my Instagram and are not on my Facebook. You can kind of see where I'm at today. So yeah, this is it. This is me. Well, I know when you guys saw that first video, things were flat and toned and all that, but just know that after this baby comes, oh yeah, it's back on again. So don't think that I'm gonna just let myself go again. No, I'm telling you, keto is for life. Right now, I'm not totally keto right now just because of the pregnancy, but no, once this baby comes in December, it's back on. So without further ado, let's get started with this lovely cauliflower pizza crust with the pepperoni and arugula right now. Okay guys, so here are the ingredients that we need to make this cauliflower crust. Right here I have some riced cauliflower. I would advise you guys, if at any way possible, buy it already riced. You guys can save yourself a big step of going ahead and having to put this in a food processor or a blender to rice it to get it to this consistency. Most places they'll sell riced cauliflower either fresh or frozen, but make sure if you're buying the frozen variety that you do not get a flavored rice cauliflower. I noticed that some of them come pre-flavored now, and if you read the ingredients list on the back of them, they are a mile long, so stay away from those. I have here some creamy mozzarella, the creamy milk mozzarella. I have here some grated Parmesan cheese. I have some Italian seasoning. I have 2 eggs. I'm going to add some sea salt to it, some pepper, and a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder. That's all we need for the cauliflower crust. I also don't have shown right now, but I'm gonna use some cheesecloth to strain out all the liquid from the cauliflower once it's cooked down. So I'll show you guys how to do that. And the next I have right here are the ingredients to make this awesome keto pizza sauce. Right here I have some olive oil, have my black pepper, red wine vinegar. I have here some onion powder, some celery flakes, the crushed red pepper, and obviously the star of the show. Now you guys are gonna want to try these. Find them wherever you can. These are the San Marzano peeled tomatoes. Now, what makes these different from regular tomatoes is that these have a very low carbohydrate count. You see here in 1/2 cup of these, you have 5 total grams of carbs with 2 grams of fiber. So that leaves you with 3 grams of net carbs. That is actually pretty good. I used to make this with just regular crushed tomatoes, but I found out that in a 1/4 cup, which would be half of the serving, it has like almost twice the carbs. Now granted, it never threw me out of ketosis, but there's something about these particular type of tomatoes that are much lower in carbohydrates than the regular ones, and they taste really good. And so go ahead and give them a try. Here I'm gonna have some granulated swerve. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of that to the sauce to help break up some of that bitterness from the tomatoes. And I have here some parsley flakes, oregano, basil, And I have here some onion powder. Well, I actually have onion powder already, but yeah, I have garlic powder also. I think that's what that is there. And I think I told you guys about the celery flakes. So yeah, guys, that's all you need to assemble the sauce for this. It comes together really quickly in the blender. You add all the ingredients to the blender, and that's pretty much it. I do put mine on the stove for a little bit. And here I have the toppings that I'm gonna add to my pizza. I have here some pepperoni. I got the large slices, and I have here some wild baby wild arugula. Now this right here is also something that is interchangeable. When I posted the picture of this pizza last night on Instagram, I used spinach. So spinach is also really good on the pizza, but there's something about arugula. It has a really unique taste. I really, really like it, and it tastes awesome on a pizza. It tastes awesome on anything, but I really do like it on this pizza with the pepperoni. So let's go ahead and get started whipping this up right now. All right, guys, so right now my oven has already been preheated to 425 degrees, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this, this is actually 16 ounces of riced cauliflower. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw this in this bowl here. Get yourself a nice big microwavable bowl, and I'm gonna microwave this cauliflower for roughly about 10 minutes to get it cooked all the way through, almost to the point of overcooking it. You want it to be super mushy so that you can extract as much water as possible out of this cooked cauliflower. That's the secret to getting a really good cauliflower crust. If you leave extra water, it's gonna have a really soggy consistency. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little, I'm gonna put a paper towel over this, cover it up, microwave it in about 10 minutes, and we'll be right back. And I'm gonna assemble the pizza sauce. Okay, so right now I'm gonna add this 28 ounce can of the San Marzano tomatoes. Now I'm gonna scoop them out and try and not make a mess, okay? And you don't wanna just dump them in here because you're not gonna use all the liquid that is in there. You just wanna scoop the tomatoes for right now. And you're gonna save roughly, I think, a half cup that you need of the actual liquid that came in here. So not very much. Make sure you get all the tomatoes. Okay. I think that's all of them. Oh, there's one more little one. I'll get that. Okay, that's that. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of the olive oil. Pour that right in. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the 1/2 cup of the liquid that came with the tomatoes. Okay. And there is that. Now, I'm gonna set my stuff aside. That's that cauliflower right there. That's ready now. So I'm gonna set all my things over here so that way I remember what I added. Next, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of red wine vinegar. I don't know what that is. Get that off there. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of this. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my spices. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add to this a teaspoon of swerve. You guys can start with a 1/2 teaspoon and move it up to a whole teaspoon, depending on your taste. You have to just try it and see. But I've determined that I like it with a full teaspoon in there. All right, just move that to the side. Like that. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Next, I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. It's not gonna be too spicy. It has a little bit of kick to it when you taste it right outright, but after you have put it on the pizza, it doesn't have much kick to it at all. And now I'm gonna add a teaspoon of basil. a teaspoon of oregano. So you guys, this comes together really fast. And also, I was gonna say, because it makes far more than you need for this pizza, this freezes up great. So make sure you have a good freezable bag or a good freezable mason jar to put this in. So that way, whenever you get ready to make some pizza again, or just like I said, have it over some zucchini noodles, you already have a really great sauce already pre-prepared. A teaspoon of garlic powder. And to that, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of onion powder. And a teaspoon of parsley. And lastly, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. So that's it. After this, we're gonna turn this baby on and blend it up. Oh, I almost forgot. Ta-da-da! Celery flakes. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of celery flakes to this. I should just open up this little spoon part, huh? Make it a lot easier on myself. Like I said, I can go over with these. I love them. It really doesn't matter. There we go. That's good enough. And I'm gonna add that teaspoon of salt. No struggling with the Himalayan salt this time. I'm just gonna use my regular old sea salt. Dump that in. And then we're gonna blend this up, and I'm gonna heat it for roughly about maybe 10 minutes to get all the flavors and the spices to come together. So let's blend it on up. All right, that's it. So from here, I'm gonna transfer this to a nice little saucepan and heat it up for roughly about, I'll say about, like I said, about 10 minutes or so. It doesn't really take very long, just enough to heat it so that all those flavors get a chance to come together once they're all heated up. But first, let's try it out and see how it tastes. I always like to try it before I go ahead and have the final product heated up. That's really good. My God. No need to buy the jarred stuff. Even still, I will say there's one keto marinara that I actually have not tried myself, but I know it's really popular in the keto community, and that is, I think it's called Raos, R-A-O-S, brand of marinara sauce and keto sauce. It's also a really low carb sauce that's, I guess, it's pretty good. People seem to rave about it, but I have never tried it because I didn't need to. This right here is very easy to come together, and I always have all the ingredients in my pantry already. Like I said, it freezes up great. You'll always have some. So I'm gonna get the cauliflower crust out of the microwave. It's already been done, and I'm gonna show you guys the process of straining that out. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my little induction cooker on and heat this up. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys, so now I have right here, I cut off some of my cheesecloth. If you guys don't have any cheesecloth at home, I'm gonna post a link for you guys in the description box to where you can order some cheesecloth. It's really affordable, and it's great to have on hand for when you're wringing out things like this. So let's go ahead and see. Now it's cooled off quite a bit, so you don't want to do this while it's hot. Definitely not. Wait till it cools off, roughly about, give it about another 10 minutes or so. And then I'm just gonna keep it over the bowl so as to not spill much of the cauliflower. And then I have another bowl here. Did I just spill some? Yes, I did. And I'm gonna grab that and put it right back in the bowl. All right, so I'm gonna squeeze it over this other little bowl that I have here. Now this is the tedious part. This is honestly the part I hate the most, but the end product is worth it. So I'm gonna squeeze this water out here. You can see how much water comes out. And I'm gonna show you guys towards the end about how much water I extracted from just 16 ounces of cauliflower. You've really got to, you know, be patient with this part, because the more you get out, the better your crust is gonna be. And get all that liquid coming out. And you are gonna get some cauliflower bits in there. That's just inevitable. But it's such a really small amount. It's not gonna make any difference. So I start at the top, and just squeeze my way to the bottom. That's the easiest way to do it. And when you're left with, it's gonna appear to be almost no cauliflower at all. But just hang in there because it's gonna make a nice size crust. Let's see here. If it starts to open up, just kinda, you can almost just wring it out like a rag too. So now it's starting to get less and less. Still wringing though. Cauliflower is really watery vegetable. But when you wring it out, the opportunities for what you can make with this is truly endless. So it does appear to be kind of a mess. That's why a lot of people don't like taking time to work with it. But like I said, to me, the end product is worth it. So I'm just gonna gently peel off what's in here, and you'll see it's not very much at all. But we're gonna add some things to it to bulk it up. So just hang in there with it, but try as best you can to get as much of it off this cheesecloth as possible. Now I find that if you just kind of gently roll it, you can get some really big pieces off of here. Like I said, it's not all gonna come, but you know, it's a small price to pay for this awesome crust. It's not all gonna make it. So I'm gonna grab the rest of it and wring the rest of it out. That is it for that. Just use my arm to scoop that last little bit. And I'm gonna save my big bowl because that's the bowl I'm gonna use to mix it all in. But I'm just gonna fold it up really good and start wringing it out again. Starting at the top and working my way to the bottom. You can make breadsticks with this cauliflower, like cheesy bread or cheesy cauliflower sticks. I guess we don't want to call it bread, but you can just start wringing it out like a dish rag and get even more liquid out. Now, for those of you guys that have a little tad of OCD like myself, know that you're not gonna get every single drop of liquid out of this cauliflower. It's impossible. But you wanna get the vast majority, like 95% of the liquid out of it. And if you've got that, you're good. So I'm gonna get us a few more squeezes. Another top to bottom go. Yep, and after you squeeze it, not much comes out. That's good enough. Starts dripping, just a few little drips. That's good. So look at this. Look at how much water we took out of that cauliflower. I'd say that's almost 1 cup, if not 3/4 of a cup of liquid. So for this, since the bowl is pretty much empty, these little bits right here, I'm gonna move out the way. These little bits right here are not gonna matter. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer everything to this big bowl here. Now, this is the hard part. Anybody out there that has mastered this and knows how to get every bit of this cauliflower off the cheesecloth, please comment on that in the comment section and let me know what you do. Let me see here if I can scrape it. No, because it just mashes in there. So we'll just have to consider that a casualty of war. We are not going to be able to get that little bit out there. It's stuck inside the groove of the cheesecloth, and that's fine. We got enough to make what we need. So guys, that's all we're left with from 16 ounces of cauliflower. Look at how tiny that is. But do not fret, because to that, we're going to add 2 eggs. Gonna add 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. and one half teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder, 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and a half cup of mozzarella cheese that's shredded already. And to that, we're gonna stir it. And stir it up really, really good. Mashing it out, getting those eggs mixed up in there really good. Aside from this amazing smell, this is it, y'all. This is it. This is the consistency that you want it to have before you put it in the oven. Like I said, just make sure that you mash down all those big bits of cauliflower. All right. So now I have a cookie sheet here that has some parchment paper on it, and I'm going to transfer this to the parchment paper and watch what we do then. It smells so darn good. All right, that's good enough. So now you're just gonna flatten this out and work it until you get it thin as possible without having holes in it. Okay, and I like to move my hand kind of in this kind of motion. I found that it works a lot easier. I mean, that's not necessary, but see, like this right here, that right there is not thin enough. It's pretty thick right here. You can actually spread this out much, much further. So we're gonna go ahead and just continue to get it thin as possible. The thinner it is, the more bread-like it will be, and it won't be soggy. And then, like I said, this goes into a 425-degree oven for roughly about 12 to 15 minutes, but keep an eye on it just so the edges get good and brown. We'll take a look at it when I take it out. But once you take it out of the oven, it's so thin. And like I said, the toppings, they melt really fast. This pizza comes together really quick once this part is done. You didn't have to bake in there for as long as like a regular pizza, but you want to wiggle your fingers to kind of keep it from putting a hole in it. You don't want a hole in it because your sauce will go through that hole. So if you get any holes in it, just fill them back in. But some of these areas where you can feel it's kind of thick, see, I just put a hole, just patch it back up. That's all, because when this cheese melts, it's gonna help it come together too. And the egg, when it poofs up with the egg in here, get it thin. Fill out any thick portions of this cauliflower crust. You don't want to have any spots where it's really, really thick, because that's the part that's not going to cook through that good. And just keep on going and going and going until you get it. See, there's another hole. So I can just easily find a thicker part of this cauliflower crust and just move it over. That's all we got to do. Keep moving it over. See, now right here, I've got a really thick portion right here. So I'm just gonna bring it even further to the edge. And then I got a hole right here. So I can move some of this over to fill that hole in. Kind of like art, kind of, to be honest. Gonna fill in these holes. I got a couple holes, but like I said, I got some parts in here that are really thick. Now, if you notice some of it starts to separate, just grab it and gather it along with the rest of it. And that's it. Kind of give it a gentle mash to kind of get it good and flat, and to fill in any lasting holes that you might not be able to see, like that one right there. I'm trying to scoop that off my hand. Just fill it in with just a little, and feel for the thickness. Before you put it in the oven, feel for any more thick spots. All right, I think this is pretty good. It's nice and round. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my oven, and we'll be back in just a minute when it's done. All right, y'all, so take a look at this cauliflower crust. It's been in the oven. I put it in here for 12 minutes. Look at the golden edges and just the golden texture of it. You can see when I lift it off of the parchment paper that it holds together pretty good. I got a small hole in it. I just couldn't see it, but it's not gonna make that big of a difference. But you can see how sturdy this thing is. Look at that. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put the toppings on. I got my sauce here. I'm gonna put, I'm actually not measuring this. I'm just gonna eyeball it and just go from there. You don't wanna put too much sauce. You honestly don't need it. And just spread it around. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more. I think that's all I need, just a little bit more. And then use my spatula here to put it on there. And just spread it out. You don't want it to be too sauced or under sauced. This smells so good, y'all. So good. That looks about right. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and add my cheese on top. Just spread it a little bit more closer to the edge. Not going too far. I don't want it to go over the edge, but get close enough so that it's spread out good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add some cheese to this. To be honest, I do not measure this out. It depends on what kind of cheese you use. Obviously, like I said before, make sure that you do not buy any low-fat or fat-free cheese while doing keto. They all add sugar and carbs to that cheese. Once they take the fat out, they have to add something to it to make it more palatable, and it's usually sugar and carbs. Next time you're in a grocery store, grab a pack and look at it. It's ridiculous. So this is good right here. I'm good with that. I'm gonna add a little bit extra after I put the toppings on, but just spread that out. Next, I'm gonna put my pepperonis on here. I happen to like the big ones. You can really use any kind of pepperoni. You can use turkey pepperoni. This is just regular pepperoni right here. You can always make this a lot healthier by getting the uncured, nitrate-free pepperoni. Applegate Farms makes a good one. And they're usually the large slices just like this. Let's see here. All right, that's good, I guess. Okay, and now to that I'm gonna add some arugula. Like I said, you can use spinach. I would say because this is a thin crust, you don't wanna really weigh it down with toppings. You know, choose wisely, whatever toppings you want. But like I said, the opportunities are endless. You can add sausage to this, ground beef or ground turkey. You can do whatever, but for me, I just wanted to have a traditional pizza. And that's how I did my keto at first. These are some toppings that I really enjoy. Pepperoni and arugula together is a great flavor combination. And that is it. Now I'm gonna add just a little bit more cheese. Not very much, just another small sprinkle on top. That's it for that. And then I also like to top my pizza with a little bit of Italian seasoning to that. Now this, guys, is gonna go back in the oven on 425 degrees for actually about 5 minutes this time. This comes together so fast once the crust is done. And so we'll be back with the finished product. Look at this. This pizza has come out of the oven now, and I've let it cool off. And look at how beautiful this pizza is. Now, if you think these edges are a little bit dark, let me school you. These edges are delicious. I don't know, they're not burned up, but they taste so good. They kind of are reminiscent of a cracker. So let me go ahead and cut this pizza. and then we're gonna go ahead and taste it. I'm gonna just go ahead and cut it into the sections that I'm gonna use to serve it. Again, I don't know the exact macros of this pizza. I'm just gonna give you guys the macros of the sauce and the crust. That's it. Because how much you guys put on your pizza and what you put on your pizza is totally up to you. It cuts easily, which is good. Let me run over that side again. Just make sure it's all separated. You can see the parchment paper took a bit of a hit, but you know what? I don't mind. Because as long as it's not stuck to my cookie sheet and that it lifts up easily, that's all that matters to me. So, look at that. Let's get a close-up of that slice. Look at that crust. Look at the back of it. It's really good. It's got that nice greasiness on the bottom. So, let me go ahead and put it on my little plate here. I'm going to get this little corner there that I just happen to love. Put that right there. Slide that. If you guys missed it, go ahead and check out the video where I feature the LifeSense products Keto MCT powder. And I have right here a herbal tea. It's called Red Refresh Herbal Tea. This is an amazing blend that is offered at Trader Joe's, and I mix in it some Swerve, and I also mix in it the Keto MCT powder that's going to give you that boost that you need, help keep you full, as well as giving you a little boost of ketones too that you guys are going to need, as well as, like I said, this is a C8 MCT powder. I'm going to post a link in the description box as to what is a C8 MCT powder. It's just a different strain, or different strain of the MCTs, the medium chain triglycerides that we need on keto. But first, let's go ahead and try this pizza. But this is going to help me wash it down. Guys, this is some amazing stuff right here. This was what I made my first week of keto. I made this pizza, and this let me know keto was for me. I could eat this. This is so good. It's crunchy. This got flavor. I forgot to tell y'all though that I actually forgot to put the salt and pepper in the crust, but because that sauce was so very well seasoned, had a lot of body to it, you cannot tell. But when I post the recipe in the description box, I'm gonna make sure that I put the salt and pepper on there. But you can't tell. This is so amazing. Guys, please try this out at home. Try it out on your family. Let me know how you like it in the description box. You guys are gonna love it. And I'm gonna take a sip of this tea here. Look how pretty and pink that is. Isn't that gorgeous? You can't buy this anywhere. So on that note, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this amazing pepperoni and arugula pizza on this awesome homemade cauliflower crust with the homemade keto pizza sauce. And I will see you guys in the next video. But before we do that, before we go, I almost forgot. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to give me a like, hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're a new visitor to the Cutting Up Keto channel. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way every time I upload a new episode, you guys will be the first to know. So on that note, I'm gonna finish this pizza and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.